The waft, the whip, and the balance point. 3 core little skills that you can practice and learn and develop in isolation, but then when mixed and blended together, can make the difference between just starting as a beginner, progressing as an intermediate, or even planing out of your carved jibes at the higher level. Everything in between can be mixed together to understand what I'm talking about, the waft, the whip, and the balance point. As a beginner, we're taught to select a goal point across the wind and sliding back into our sailing position, draw the rig across in front of your body with an extended front arm. We're aiming here to get towards the point where the sail pretty much balances by himself. Developing that balance point feeling will make it so much easier when it comes to getting into your sailing position in higher winds and smaller boards, starting to use bigger sails, and most importantly, when you start progressing higher and higher, exiting tacks and jibes without just getting a really sore back. You see, the entire way through this, I'm very, very loose on the boom. And actually, all of these positions come down not to power on, but how to turn the power off. And the easiest way to turn the power off is slide the front hand forwards and release the backhand. This is where we start to counterbalance against the sail. It's not strictly the balance point, because if I release the sail falls over. But I'm at a point where I'm comfortably counterbalanced against the weight of the sail with 0 power in it. The same when I move to my sailing position. It's only actually in the balance point for a short second or two. From there, I'm then dynamically counterbalancing against the sail. And that continues when I'm going slowly in light winds and just cruising along. The same when I hook in. And the same when you're powering up and actually going at full speed. Dynamic counterbalance close to the balance point and then move away to counterbalance constantly. The waft and the whip. The waft and the whip involve letting the sail breathe. And just for a moment or let's just understand a little bit about how a sail works. In my sailing position right now, I haven't just pulled my backhand very tight. If I do that, I create what's called turbulent airflow. Lots of swirly whirly wind on the inside and a gap of wind on the outside, making it feel powerful, but actually it's very heavy and I can't hold on to it, and often end up falling over. Laminar airflow means smooth airflow passing on both sides of the sail. Higher pressure on this side compared to the low on the other, but smooth airflow, which I can then utilize, accelerate, steer, whatever it is I'm trying to do. By letting the sail breathe, or as I'm doing just now, gently wafting like a fan, allows me to maximize that laminar airflow and control what's going on. Not just get a really sore back and risk falling over on top of the sail.
So I thought at this point a little graphic might show a little bit clearer what I'm trying to describe with laminar and tubular airflow. So this is a wind tunnel, this is a sail in the middle, and you can see right now this is smooth laminar airflow. Higher pressure on the inside of the sail, lower pressure on the outside of the sail, creating nice usable power and a nice smooth airflow that you can see now. What goes wrong though is people oversheet, spend the whole time trying to power up and pull the backhand, and this happens. You get this swirly, whirly, tubular airflow. Feels powerful, feels heavy, but it's uncontrollable and there's not much I can do to actually generate lift and power and move forward. So sheeting out, easing out, or what we consider of depowering, actually makes the airflow smoother across the sail, makes it much easier to handle, maneuver, and actually do whatever it is we're trying to do. That includes the waft, the whip, tacking, jibing, getting going. A lot of the time sheeting out makes the sail flow smoother and easier to use.
This same idea of wafting comes mid-maneuver. This is me currently wafting the sail, letting the sail breathe from side to side without clawing the sail very, very tightly. This wafting of the sail has zero power. It's not strictly the balance point, but I'm still counterbalancing nicely. And it's a dynamic, active, moving counterbalance. This wafting action is what we're aiming to do midway through a tack. As I make the transition from one side to the other, instead of powering up your muscles and trying to heave the big heavy sail mid-tack, waft, throw, and float the sail, then return it back to its balance point before moving back into your normal sailing position. The whip is a very similar action. In fact, in other videos, I've described this as the disco or the night fever part of exiting a carve jibe. It involves not just releasing the boom and scrabbling to the other side, but actually allowing the sail to whip down towards the back and dynamically back up and forwards. It's an explosive, dynamic, counterbalance position. Starting with a waft, and then a whip up and forwards. Easiest way to practice it is from clue first, front hand slides, as with all these maneuvers, because that depowers the sail. Whip, back to the balance point. Front hand slide, whip, to the balance point. If it's working well, the sail will float and balance by itself. You can actually go completely no-handed for a moment or two mid-whip, before then catching the sail, allowing the sail to breathe and returning to that gentle, laminar, smooth airflow. just so we understand what people are doing wrong with this whipping idea, MIG rib flip, is releasing the front hand and scrabbling to the back, and then it's very heavy to pull back up. This is only a 5'9" sail. Anything bigger than that, it's really going to start hurting your back, your leg muscles and everything else. Or most likely, you're just going to fall in mid-jibe. Front hand slide, counterbalance, whip. The waft. Practice this and then back to balance point, sailing position. Let the sail breathe. Quick reminder, with all of these motions I'm doing, whether I'm just wafting the sail gently, a big old whip done midway through the jibe, and then back up towards that balance point, none of these involve putting power on and pulling hard against the sail. The easiest way to depower is to slide your front hand forwards. Most of it's done on the boom. The only real exception to that would be the entrance to attack, when it's easier to go for the wafting action from low down the mast as you make your transition. These actions are definitely easier learnt in light winds, big boards, medium comfortable sails, and non-planing conditions. Trying to learn this action whilst traveling at 20-something knots mid-carve jibe or carving around a high-speed tack is very difficult to do. This light wind that I'm in just now is about 8 to 10 knots or so, and I can really let the sail float and fly, back winding slightly. That's the wafting motion. And actually all of these lead you up to no-handed maneuvers. And I don't consider that a freestyle move. I consider it an advanced skill, a really nice progression from holding on for dear life to your boom, white knuckle roller coaster ride, to actually letting that sail breathe, float, effortless windsurfing. No-handed tacks and no-handed jibes would be the dream outcome from all of these wafting, whipping, and breathing around that balance point position. Getting away from sore backs, sore legs, sore arms, and everything is tiring at full speed. If you like what you've heard in this explanation, from beginner all the way through intermediate advanced tacking, jibing, and the same idea of laminar airflow, letting the sail breathe, not just fighting for power, there's loads more video on this YouTube channel. Find everything in the description below, or make sure, importantly, you hit that like and subscribe button. I've also made loads of short little snapshots of this video and many, many more as well. So make sure you follow my Instagram, my TikTok, and the reels and the shorts that are going through the YouTube as well. Lots of questions are hopping up about these caps. Yes, you can buy them. Again, all those links are in the description below. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you hopefully out here in beautiful Vassiliki for some windsurfing at some point in this summer or years to come.